You're listening to Biz-Souls, the business podcast with an edge, hosted by me, Rona Lewis, and Jeffrey Hansler. Tune in for perspectives and discoveries about the changing world of business. It's time to connect to the heart, soul, and humor of how business gets done. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our latest exciting episode of Biz-Souls. I'm Rona Lewis.
I'm Jeffrey Hansler.
And we are doing a first.
Yes, we get to the heart and soul of business, and today we've taken the business on the road. We're here with David Patrick, who's an amazing guest, and it's an introduction from us to our podcast, guys, and something very exciting coming up.
Okay.
And I'm going to be behind the scenes, which is why I'm taking the mic now. So
I know,
I'm working all the time.
Can we have a run-on sentence, people?
Yeah, okay. So back to you, Rona.
Thank you so much. Well, today we have an unbelievable guest who is, I think, a combination of Einstein and Willy Wonka. I think that's a perfect explanation, because I walked into this place and I'm like, oh my God, toys, and they all serve a purpose. And we are here with David Patrick, and I am going to read a little introduction about you. David is the innovative mind behind the invention of the shark wheel. As Chief Technology Officer, he is recognized as a one-of-a-kind inventor who discovered a fundamental shape inherent in nature. David Patrick conceptualized shark wheels while designing an alternative wake turbine stemming from his research endeavors. Can I say that again? Research endeavors. While he sold most of the company, he retains a healthy share of the stock and is currently acting as their research and development consultant. No stranger. This is really long.
And this is really outdated.
So
that's all I have.
We should update that.
All right. So anyway, we're moving on to his new company, Sarah World, which is he is going to go into, explain it once we get to it and get a little bit more of his background. So David, welcome to the show. I'm going to let you fill in the rest of his bio as we get there.
What an
Hello.
entry. Jeez.
I know.
There's no energy in the room. That's the problem. There's just no energy.
I have no energy.
Bring the level up. Let's go.
Exactly.
I was saving it.
Yeah, thank you.
So, okay.
Yeah,
David,
nice bio entry. That's it. That makes me sound like a accountant.
All right. So why don't you give us a little bit, tell us your whole life story in 10 seconds. Ready, go.
I was born, I'm living, and I'm going to die. Woohoo!
That was perfect. Okay, thanks for being here. Well,
it's a big dud.
Oh, that's mine. I thought that was mine. All right, sorry
I'm not
about
paying
that.
attention to either camera, so we can just...
Anyway, so tell us how you got into all of this.
All right, so I'm the weirdest story I've ever heard.
We love
okay?
weird.
I didn't fit the model for what I should have been. It's one of those stories where you think you're going to go and make jet engines and you end up making chocolate chip cookies. And it's like this weird path that life leads you on. I actually teach classes on failure and about how failure is always that thing that guides you to your successes. It's so important. And any real person who's done business, made a product, done something like that, they understand absolutely how important the journey is. You have to follow the journey. The journey doesn't follow you. So in my case, I started out being a normal person raised in Southern California, and my father was an aeronautical engineer, a very smart guy, and my pathway was supposed to be I was going to go do computer science. But I was not that guy in school. I could learn anything, but I just wasn't very motivated in school. Rote memorization of things was just not my thing, and early on I realized I was going to end up being self-employed. There was just no way I was going to be working for other people, doing the things I saw other people doing. So I was going to be a computer science major, and that just didn't work out. So I decided I was going to go out and just be in the mortgage banking space, which was one of those things in Southern California. Being a mortgage banker, it was like one of those things. So I did, and I ended up becoming very successful at it. And I made a big, large firm, and I did great. But what made me great was software. I was tying systems together and making things work, and at the end, when I got rid of the company and sold it, I had this amazing software. So I'm like, okay, now I'm a software guy. I used to be a mortgage banking guy, but now because of all these systems I've created, I'm a software guy. So I'll go be that. And I learned how to do software. And I'm self-taught with everything. But I was always taught by masters, people that were so good. And I was so blessed to be around people like that. So I learned software, and in the course of it, learned web design. And in web design, I learned graphic design. And in graphic design, I met the biggest master there ever is, the guy named Ryan Lackdow. He was out of the Philippines, and he started working for me. And I had never seen work like this guy did in my life, ever. This guy was so talented. And many years later, he wanted to come to the United States and work for me, and he wouldn't tell me all of his information. And I was like, why? And he goes, I don't want to get fired. I'm like, why would you get fired? You're my #1 guy. I'm paying you 10 grand a month, and we've been together for years. Why? He goes, because of my age. I'm like, what's your age? He was 13 when he started for me. He was 30. He was the biggest master I'd ever seen in my life. This guy was 13 years old.
Wow.
Just wow.
Yeah, just a
but
gift.
he schooled me. He taught me Photoshop and things like that. So during that journey where he showed me how to make three-dimensional things on a computer, make something look like a ball.
adopt him or anything.
No, it was nothing like that. I ended up being the best man at his wedding,
Oh, nice.
and that was the day I met him.
Oh, wow.
I met him the night before his wedding. Was the first time we actually saw each other.
You had
Right.
known each other, you just didn't see each other.
We had known each
physically.
other, but never seen each other. And it was just amazing. He's a great guy.
That's fantastic.
But that turned me into what I became today. And learning graphic arts and learning about three-dimensional things, one day I was just like, I want to make a new kind of carnival ride. I want to make a ride that like spins one direction and then starts spinning the other direction. And I'm just going to spin like a ball and make this really amazing, weird ride. And as I'm going through that and going on this, just, hey, it's kind of a fun journey, I end up seeing a shape come out. And I'm like, wow, that shape's kind of cool. It's like blah, blah, blah. And it's this shape right here. And this shape is a dead perfect circle. It rolls like a perfect circle. It is a dead perfect cube. It is a perfect cube.
Okay.
It is a perfect square. It's a perfect set of sine waves. Like, when they talk about energy being in a wave, this is a wave and it's even. And it's a hexagon. And it's like all these other weirdo shapes in one thing. And in the beginning, it was just like, wow, that thing's really weird. It's very pretty and it's very weird, but what does it do? Like, what is it? So we realized, okay, we can make a wheel out of it. And we turned it into a wheel, and that's where Shark Wheel came from and stuff like that. But before it was ever a wheel, it was a machine. It was another thing that I had in my head. And I realized, oh my gosh, I think I got a monster. Right now, if you say, who reinvented the wheel? I show up.
Right.
Because of Shark Tank and all that other stuff I was on. So Discovery Channel, doing all those things, it makes you show up as that guy. But I'm sitting here holding on to the secrets of the universe. I'm like, something massive is here. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this? How do you make a business around this? And first of all, how do I tell everybody about this? And that was where everything became the biggest challenge of my life.
So
where it was
David,
go ahead.
what year was that? What year was that?
So the first inclination of it was like 2004.
Okay.
So we're 20 years after the first happened. Mm-hmm. I knew all of it on the first thing because it was all one thing.
Right.
I figured out one stupid thing. And everybody that looks at me and calls me smart and calls me this, calls me that, it's like, guys, I'm doing the same thing over and over and over and over. I discovered something correct. It's biomimicry. I'm mimicking nature. So it works as a fan, as a blade, as a this, as a wheel,
It's
as
a
a whatever.
hat, it's a brooch, it's
Now-
all
It is. It's a pickle relish. It's an engine lubricant.
No, so at the time you created it, did you realize it was all these things?
No.
No.
Yes and no. I realized I was holding on to a monstrous discovery. I realized I had the secrets of the universe. I was holding
I've
it. Me.
seen
Well, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. No, I remember seeing something like this at like the Museum of Modern Art or a science museum or
This
something.
don't exist
No.
anywhere but in my hands. I
No,
know
I'm
a
looking
lot of
at-
things
no,
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
similar,
and
but
and-
not this.
Okay, because it's like it's blowing my mind just looking at it. As you said, I see the circle, I see the square, I see everything. I'm like, I can't believe something so simple has been within reach and yet,
Key
not.
thing.
yeah,
I went and asked for a patent on this, okay?
yeah.
If you ask for a patent on anything that spins, you're not going to get it. You would own the patent to everything. This is the path of spinning on the X, the Y, and the Z at the same time. So I went to the US government and said, I would like the patent on anything spinning on all 3 axes at the same time. And they gave it to me.
Wow.
Do you know why? Because nobody else had ever asked for it.
Yeah.
I can't get an AI system to make this shape.
Why?
It won't do it. I can't get it to make it because it's not in its library of shapes. It feeds off of things it's seen before.
Right.
Nobody ever had a cube that's a circle, that's a sine wave, that's a hexagon, that's a this, that's a that.
And it's not sophisticated enough to figure it out.
It's so complex because if you really break it down to what it is, it's 6 90-degree turns, okay? Or as you would call 1.5 circles. That's all this is. It's 6 of these little 90-degree turns
It's an
connected
elephant.
together.
It's
so not complicated, it's not even funny, okay?
So was the wheel, putting it into a wheel as a, I mean, how'd you find out about the wheel to get on Shark Tank?
I knew it was round. I turned it into a wheel because it was a way to make money without giving away the big thing. I had to keep the big thing secret. I had to keep that for myself. No investors, because otherwise they're all just going to want to make money off
So
of it.
what happened when you went on Shark Tank?
I did a deal with 3 of them. I did a deal with Mark Cuban, Kevin O'Leary, and Nick Woodman, the founder of GoPro.
And about what year was this?
I don't remember.
That's
It's-
great. I can't,
It's
you
been
know,
a blur
Dave-
since 2004.
No,
like
it's way past
2010,
04. No, it would have been way past that too. Because we
2015.
formed the company in 12. So
Okay.
it would have been 15, 16, something like that.
Okay, very, very good. And you start with a wheel to make money on it, and
The wheel was the low-hanging fruit. I didn't start with the wheel. I started with the turbine.
really,
Yeah, turbine was the fan. This thing behind
break
me, smash it. The fan behind me. That was truly the first thing I ever had. Was turning the shape into something like a blade. Then I turned it into a turbine. Then I turned it into a wheel, and it was a centrifuge first. I take that back. God, it's been such a journey, but the shape happened kind of everything all at once. And it was one of those things where it's like, okay, I know it's all these things, but which one am I going to make first? Like, which one's the low-hanging fruit to go and make money off of?
Right.
And so the wheel ended up being the low-hanging fruit. So it was like, okay, let's just go do that. I'll make a lot of money off of doing that, but I'll save the big boy for later. And then as time went by, I got introduced to more and more amazing people, and I learned more stuff, and things happened. And then all of a sudden, there was a time where it's like, guys, this is done. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
when you say go, you're done with that project?
No, I'm ready
and
to
that
launch
company?
this thing. I've had Sarah World for 18 years. I've had the whole thing since the beginning. I put it out there in 2006, but it wasn't this. It wasn't the final thing. As my journey went through, there was a way of finally just reducing everything down to a simple thing where it's like, okay, we got this. This is all I need it to be. And over the last, I'm going to say 8 months, all I've done is perfect that. That's been my whole life. I've always had it in my head, but Shark Wheel took all of my time. All of my time. I had to go do that. But it's not like I ever stopped thinking. It's not like I ever stopped doing that. But then when everything was finally like, okay, I'm done with that one, so now I'm moving on to the next one, it's just been guns going. Let's go.
Let's talk a little bit about Sarah World. So what is it exactly? Because I am so happy playing with all these toys because I see Sarah World and I'm like, oh look, magnets and energy and fun. And so talk to me about that. I'm such a
And
big
how
fan.
does it tie into the answer for everything?
Okay, so
Besides 42.
when you say it's the answer to everything, it is. Okay? You want cancer? You want AIDS? You want disease? You want energy? You want gold? What do you want? It's everything. It's sitting there waiting for you. That's the spooky, scary part about this thing. It is the
I'm in.
simple answer. And you say that, but you say that because you don't believe it's true. Once you see it come out, it's like,
No,
oh my God, this is a lot of change.
I'm telling you, I do believe you.
And I'm sitting here and I'm going right now. Our listeners go, "What do you mean the answer to everything?"
He's seen it, so he knows I'm not full
So
of
I
crap.
know it, and I went through this while he was talking about it, and he did an education on how
Yeah.
all this. And there was a point. It was like, I'm not getting this. I'm not getting this. And all of a sudden, it just came through. So right now, I think our listeners are going, "What do you mean the answer to everything? Well, how can that solve cancer?"
Right. And that's the beautiful part of it. It's like, how can something simple have existed this long and not been discovered? And that is, the answer to that one too.
Right.
You find out that having separate sciences is not a good thing. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to be looking at everything as one, and then the answer reveals itself. Mm-hmm. That old saying, they couldn't see the forest because the trees were in the way.
Yeah.
We are living that. We literally took something simple, blew it apart into complexity, and then said, that's the right idea. Keep going that way. Keep going into complexity.
So what do you see what's your vision as you bring this to life?
So this is something you do not try and patent. I did patent it, so I can give it away. Mm-hmm. You give this away to everyone as quickly and as easily as possible. I'm not after fame. Right. I'm not after the money. I'm after the stuff. I want to live in a world where medicine is known. Resources are a non-thing. You want gold? Here, gold. Anybody can have it. And that sounds crazy, but it's like, they don't understand how simple it is. They don't understand how simple healthcare, resources, and energy are. An electric eel is not a magical machine that makes electricity. It's doing it through a mechanical force. You got the people look at it and they try and understand it from all these chemicals and this and that, and it's like, guys, it's curling its body up and doing a thing when it does it. If you look at what it's doing from the context of understanding it in a simple way, you see I can make electricity the same way. I'm making heat right now. Heat's coming off the top of my head. It's not because it's sunny today.
Right.
I'm 98.6, I'm making this heat inside of me. Understanding those processes is 100% coming, okay? They're going to understand it all as one model, and then you go, here's how you solve energy, here's how you solve healthcare, here's how you solve resources.
And I can't help but see some of the egos of the men, the 1%, whether political people, whatever, being incredibly scared of this.
Oh, this is a sucker punch.
Because
you
it's
are
going
in
to
trouble.
take them out of their comfort zone of not being in control.
This is the great equalizer.
Yeah.
Everyone will own it.
So
nobody will own it.
So how can we draw it? Because right now I don't think they'll see the connection. So,
okay.
So how do we can
Let's
connect
try
the
and make a
dots?
connection.
Okay.
Let's try and do this. Okay. In the simplest way of saying this, we live in a time when all of the sciences and everybody's work is all based on laws and rules, okay? And those laws and rules are based on discoveries we've done. And one of the biggest ones we have is the Big Bang. And it's this discovery of our universe, and they use it to calculate all of the things they see. I am here to tell you there was a simpler explanation for everything, and that is we are inside of a colossal spinning ball. The universe is spinning. It is not blowing out like a balloon from an explosion. There was no explosion. It is rotating and getting bigger as it rotates. That is it. That's the whole story. You have to understand that in a clean way. You have to be able to say, look, it's not rotating just like this. It's not the Earth on its axis spinning one time. It is a beautiful thing that it follows. It's three-dimensional. And when you see it, all of a sudden the universe is revealed in front of you. This is why it was so hard to say. People are like, well, just tell me what it is. You can't say it. You have to show it. It is a three-dimensional thing. And some of these objects that I have, I used to tell people, there's no sculptor on the earth that can make this. There's no tool that can go backwards up into itself and make these things, but that's what I need. And that's not one of them. These are excellent examples of
yes,
that.
That's what I was looking for.
You're not drawing this on a piece of paper and having people understand the complexities of the three-dimensional structure of this. But 3D printers could. So we had a discovery that, hey guys, the universe is spinning, it didn't explode. If you just take that simple thing and say it's spinning its way into existence, all of the things reveal themselves, from seashells to our own bodies, to chemicals, to atoms, to electrons, to this. Oh my gosh, same story over, over, over. You're all staring at the same thing. It's scale. When you get to understand what you're looking at, then you can solve stuff. That's why you can say, this is what cancer is. The reason that cell burst and burst radially like a ball going out and bigger, there is a reason for that. You have to understand the forces acting on it. You can't counter that until you understand what's causing it. Same thing with everything. How did that electric eel make electricity? How am I making electricity? What are the forces acting on everything that make all this stuff work? We've never had that before. We now have that. We have a simple answer to the mechanics of our universe that explain everything, from biology to life to matter to this. It's sitting right in front of us. And a third grader could have figured this out. But he wouldn't have been able to explain it to people. Because explaining it with three-dimensional shapes, and by the way, if a picture's worth 1,000 words, a video's worth 1,000,000. Because a moving animation of something folding in on itself, that is so hard to draw and so hard to speak. But when you show it to people and you say, and that's what we're going to do. We're not here to say, hey, we think it's this or that. Guys, we're about to launch it all. We're dumping the whole thing, and ain't nobody going to argue with us. Nobody's going to come out and go, oh, he's wrong, it's this, it's that. No, it's not. We're right. This is unarguable. Everything matches us. Everything with absolute perfection. All the most complicated models and phenomena you see in the world, from magnetism to energy, I don't care. It's all the same stuff. We were not fooled. We were just confused. We had too much crap going on, too many scientific studies, too many people studying and breaking things apart and trying to make it more. That wasn't the answer. The answer was to step back, look at all of it as a whole, look at the shape of that seashell and the shape of my stupid machine that I made and go, oh my gosh, they're both the same thing. And then you look at all of them, viruses, this, that, and you're just like, there's just no way it's this obvious. There's no way it's this obvious.
So when,
but it is.
When are you planning on sharing it?
We're trying to load all the guns by February 20th, 2024.
Okay.
That's a month and something away.
That'll be right around the time this podcast is ready for.
Yep. So we plan on having all the bullets in the gun at that point.
Okay.
When we launch in 8 different languages globally. We're going to have partners already ready to go. We're going to have spoken to somebody at all the news outlets. We're going to send them a package ahead of time going, hey, this is what's coming. If you want to help launch this, by all means, give us a call. You don't want to be a part of it? See ya. This is coming whether you like it or not.
Welcome to the age of Aquarius.
This is a renaissance, guys. Yeah. I've been dealing with this for 18 years, okay? For 18 years, I've had to accept that I have this, that I'm that guy. I didn't know why I was that guy. I should have never been this guy.
Take it.
But I'm the guy, okay? And I have a role, and that is, I just want to give this thing away to everybody. I don't want this by myself. I ain't after fame. I ain't after money. But if everybody knows the truth, oh man, we're going to see great stuff come. You are going to see amazing things happen everywhere, everywhere. And I have a whole thing that shows what's coming as a prediction kind of model. But my predictions are going to be right because they're dominoes that fall. And the first domino is, am I right about the mechanics of the universe? And the answer is, hell yeah. It's scarily right, scary correct. I did not want to be this guy. I never thought this was me. But this is what happened, and this is where we are. And I don't mind saying it to anybody out there. You can be a disbeliever and be aware. You're coming along. Yeah. You're not going to get to argue with it.
Kicking and screaming for some people.
No, they come along great. When I show physicists and when I show doctors and everybody that's in things, they all are so joyful about it because they go, we saw this the whole time. Like we saw that, but we didn't know why we were seeing that.
So did that change the course of their research?
Oh, God, yeah. When I show teachers, they start teaching this in school to the kids, which is great.
That's what you want.
Oh, yeah, it is. Because you're teaching them a simple way to understand things. It's like learning geometry in a simple way. This is a simple way to understand all of it. Biology, chemistry, physics, this, that, the other. I don't care. This is all of it in a simple way.
What made you call it Sarah World?
Sarah was from Seraphine. A seraphine is an angel of the highest order. So at the time, 20 years ago, trying to get the website, they were all taken. Every website was taken. So I ended up getting Sarah World, which wasn't really what I wanted, but it's what it ended up becoming, and now I own it. So it's like, okay, it's Sarah World.
Okay.
So is the website up?
Yeah, there is a
Is there-
website up, but
Okay.
the website is waiting for the dump.
Right.
So there's a professional video that's being done right now that's going to be our like Hollywood level movie trailer thing that goes, here's what our claim is, here's the proof, right here, and here's how we're going to do it together. Everybody's going to be part of this. We're giving it away to the world, we're making it open source, and we're doing this as a crowd-based thing. We want the whole world doing it. I'm going to donate all this to everybody for free. I would like you to do the same. I would like to take this and finish it for everyone, of the people, by the people, for the people. We will make the machines that we need for energy. We will make the machines that we want for healthcare. We will make the machines that we want to get all the matter that we want, from gold to silver to cadmium to lithium. I don't care. If it's on the chart of the elements, you can have as much of it as you want. That's coming.
Excellent.
And when you have that, that is change in such a grand scale. It's like, how's the world going to deal with this?
No kidding.
But that's the truth. I'm not the only guy out here that knows this. Fibonacci saw this in 1100s,
That's what I was asking.
that's-
1,000 years ago.
So he caught me when we were here before. He caught me with the Fibonacci because
Yeah.
when I was a commodities trader, everybody's trading on the news and everything else. And there was a guy named Elliott Wave who wrote Robert Prechter wrote the Elliott Wave theory, and it's all based on the Fibonacci numbers and how the universe moves in these patterns and cycles. And that connected, and then he brought up a nautilus shell. So the nautilus is all perfectly right rectangles. And so this is going to impact everything. And I had I don't know if it was Wired magazine or I know it wasn't Shark Tank because I don't watch that much, or a YouTube video. I saw about the wheels, and I was just amazed. This isn't just going to be wheels. I mean, the silver thing there, isn't that a non-cavitating turbine?
Yeah, non-cavitating turbine.
Which again, because they're putting foils on boats, they're going to need those to drive it. They're going to need a different propulsion. So this is going to impact every industry, every science.
Every person.
Because it explains, you were going over in some of the details about the Big Bang Theory, and it's got holes in it.
Right.
It's got massive holes in it, and they can't figure it out because the model isn't the right model.
Right.
So it's wrong.
An
premise.
But as a
explosion
TV
would
show,
slow
it
down
was
over time.
fantastic.
Their model of a Big Bang would be an explosion that would slow down over time. That's not what's happening. The universe is picking up speed.
Right.
It's growing bigger like a balloon and getting faster and faster and faster. When you spin it, you see why it would pick up speed over time. Understanding why it's spinning, what was the beginning, what was all of this stuff that happened, it's waiting for us. It's all sitting there waiting for you. And evolution, all these other kind of things, I'm sorry, people, but it's going to fall. Evolution's going to fall. The whole premise of how they put it together, it's an okay story. It's utterly flawed and wrong. Life blooms in gigantic blooms over short periods of time. It's not little tiny changes. No, it's blooms, gigantic blooms. This shows why it's blooms. This shows exactly why it goes from single cell to multi-cell, from plant to animal to this to that, and all of the complication, all of the stuff from egg layers to mammals to us. This is a clearly defined pattern. There is a pattern emerging. It is not random. It is not evolutionary things that are all that. No, these shapes were going to happen no matter what, at these times, at these stages, in these blooms. No matter what. The universe is teeming with life. The whole thing is life. They don't understand that. They think it's all, oh my gosh, it's so rare that we are here and this and that. And it's like, only if you believe in evolution, only if you look at those kind of models with tons of holes in them. This has no holes. None. Zero. None. Zero.
And you've been
Zero.
And you've been presenting it to experts for a while.
Oh, God, yeah.
And you've got
A
Where's my book?
Of
Where's your
dollars.
Hold on. So 281 experts from physicists, and this is Cal Poly Pomona, this is Cypress College, this is New York University, this is Brigham Young University, this is blah, 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 blah.
And your dad who's an astrophysicist.
Oh yeah, my dad's, everybody's in here. But I would bet everybody $1 that I'd solve the secrets of the universe. And the rules were, I gotta show you the real secrets of the universe. No wordplay, no tricks, no messing around. I mess your head up with a simple answer. 281 people, I got $281. Nobody would dare not give me the dollar because I'm not preaching complexity. What you see, you've seen your whole life. How many times did you see a watermelon and go, wow, this is the secrets of the universe? Never, until somebody explains it to you and you cut it open and see what's inside and you get it explained to you. And then you go, oh my gosh, how on earth? My gosh.
Dude.
That's the California way. You just can't believe that 6 billion people miss this. You're like, how? How did we get to this absolute insanity we're at when this was sitting here staring at us?
Because people have egos, and we want to make it complicated to make ourselves feel better.
Well, no.
Money.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
And-
well, money, yes.
Well, look, one of the
exactly.
examples he was when he was going over it before, he talked about why the Earth is warming, and so there's a big fight between climatologists and geologists. And the climatologists, they've got so many holes in their thing, and the geologists are closer to it. They don't know why it's doing it though, and this explains.
Center of the Earth is spinning. As it spins, it makes heat. The heat is from friction. We are going to continue to pick up speed as we move further away from the spinning center of our universe. As you pick up speed, you pick up heat. The Earth is heating up and we're moving away from the sun. We are moving away from the sun over time and heating up. How? How is the sun a factor in that? It's not.
Right.
All the magma, all the stuff shooting out of volcanoes, that had nothing to do with the sun. That had to do with the spinning core, which, by the way, has stopped and is reversed direction, according
Right.
to them.
Right.
So
we actually talked about
it's
that.
going to keep picking up speed. We are eventually going to blow apart. It's my legal guy.
Excellent.
We're going to not take that call. But anyways, this has been staring at us, and we all just kind of went in the wrong direction. Technology took us into complexity, and complexity took us into just insanity. And it's time to come back. It's time to come back and say, look, guys, there's a simple answer to what's going on. We can all apply it, and we can all benefit from it. You guys can all go figure out healthcare, and we're all going to live to be 120, and then we're all going to die, and it's going to be a good thing because heaven's a real thing, okay? Don't care if you're religious. You're about to find out. You're about to find out that this is a model of creation. You don't get to argue with it. You don't get to say, no, I don't believe that's what it is. White light splits into red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Every single time. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Every single time. There is a pattern. Well, when you look at that pattern with the whole darn thing, it's like, oh, you came out of nothing and you're going to something. And this was all by design. This was not a mistake. This is not random. You are looking at the most perfect model you've ever seen.
I'm excited. Well, as the expression goes, keep it simple, stupid. And we made things a lot more complicated, so we can kiss the old way of doing things goodbye.
So
Won't that be nice?
no kidding. So we usually finish podcasts by asking about tips. Now we don't ask. I think the tips are about your life and your choices because you didn't fit into a box. I mean, you
Well, maybe
said you
keep an
didn't
open
focus
mind.
on school, so you didn't do well in school. And then next thing you know, you're studying. You were going to study biology and chemistry, and the next thing you're in the mortgage industry. So, do you have any tips for somebody that doesn't fit well in the boxes?
Yeah.
And how to make how do you make choices, and how did you progress, and how did you cover your bases, feed the family?
Here it is, okay? This has all been said before, but I'm going to reiterate it my way, okay? Number one, I do what I love, okay? I love what I do, okay? So it's not work anymore. Number two, I'm not afraid of being poor. I'm not afraid of having nothing because I will still be happy. I will still be me, okay? And my children will be fine. Everybody's going to be fine. Money doesn't buy you happiness, okay? And we all know that. We all know it alleviates desperation, okay? When you're desperate to pay your bills or desperate to get something, money can alleviate that desperation. But after the desperation's gone, it doesn't buy you happiness. So I never ran after the money after a certain stage of my life. I chased it for a while, and then I realized it was a futile journey, and then I went after the people around me. And it was surround yourself with the good people, and good things happen. Look at my life. I have the most charmed life ever. I'm the guy that reinvented the wheel. okay? That was after I had killed it in the mortgage banking industry and software. And that was after, and then I did I'm the Secrets of the Universe guy, and I'm the blah, blah, blah guy. Why?
Oh, you're a dime a dozen. Come on.
I'm a dime a dozen. I'm surrounded by good people.
Yeah.
You guys are good people. Jeff was brought to me by a good person, Eric, who worked for me in the mortgage banking industry.
Love Eric.
Love Eric. Eric's the best. And it's just surround yourself with, you're never going to be able to change people. So change the people that are around you. Because if you're around negative people...
Can you say that again? Because I think that's so important. People don't realize
never
it.
going to change people, so change the people that are around you.
Amen. That is so... We're done. I'm kidding.
This is it. There's your big tip. Hang around good people, and good things happen. It's weird. Negative people are drawn to negative people.
Right.
People that are in a bad place in life, they're drawn to other bad place in life people so they can bitch about it
I
together.
was going to say they just bitch and moan too.
They just bitch and moan. And I don't bitch and moan.
So can I ask you about the gap? So you're on track, you're doing something, and then you go to switch tracks. And it's exciting doing something new. There's a gap. There's kind of a gap, though. I know you said you don't care about money. I mean, did you ever get concerned about something, or you ever get demotivated by what was going around you? Never felt alone working late in the lab?
Not once.
That's great.
Not once. I mean, I listen to people go, hey, we're going to this seminar on healing and this about healing. I'm like, I don't need no healing. I'm good. I'm not hurt. I don't get it. I'm not in that place. I've never been in that place. Or at least I haven't since this. When this happened to me, it's just been this joyous journey every single day. Every single day has been the greatest thing. And going broke the first time, because I had a lot of money when this first came into my head, and my amazing wife, I told her, we're going broke, because we're going to invest every penny we have in this. I'm going to get this as far as I can with my money, and then we'll go turn it into something. And that's what we did. And we went to food stamps level.
Literally.
Wow.
All the way down. And on that day, it was the best day of our life.
Wait,
we were in a broken down car.
From Ferraris to food stamps?
Ferraris to food stamps, and then right back again. Listen, it's by choice.
Yeah.
I never worried about getting rid of the stuff. I never worried about selling it. I never worried about losing it, because I knew I was going to get it back. I knew what I had in my head was real. So I was betting on me. I was just banking all my money into me, and it's worth so much more that way than the other way.
Well,
so you got to let go. It's so hard to take that risk, but you got to realize if the ball bounces higher, you're going to be fine.
And I think that is what most people are missing, is that self-possession, that assuredness that everything is working out as it should, and I know who I am and what I need to do to get what I want out there. That is so rare.
I gotta offer one more thing.
Mazel tov, Bobby.
In Sarah world, everyone will understand that there is a creator, and this story is already over. Yeah. This thing is done. You're just on your journey, okay? And the journey can suck, okay? Your birth was not a good day for you. You came out of a womb that you were happy in, you were being fed through your navel, and everything was good. And then for the first time ever, you had to learn to go and suck through your lungs and see with your eyes and hear with your ears. And all the things that had to happen, that was traumatic to you. But it was worth it to be here and now be able to taste and see and smell and love and touch and all the wonderful things that are out here. This is great. The journey out sucks too.
Yeah.
Stopping breathing and dying and going to the next thing, yeah, that sucks. But guess what? Listen to every near-death experience. I went through a tunnel of light, came out on the other side, saw God, saw colors, things that you can't explain here, and told it's not my time, I had to come back, I didn't want to come back, it's better there. Yeah, this shows that. This shows we're all going to a better place, so quit worrying about this. Right. I think that's why I'm so happy. This is already done. And it's not like being religious, it's not like being anything like that. It's like saying, I see it. The forest, I see it. There's a forest. That's what you wanted. You wanted a forest. You wanted to know you were loved. You wanted to know there was a creator. You wanted to know there's something else. That it's not an end and a this and a that. We're trying to bring joy. We're trying to say, guys, look. The only reason you think it's that because you're misunderstood. But if you just stare at the thing that's staring at you, it's okay. God's got it.
I think that's a good high note to end on, because we could talk about this all day.
Oh, yeah.
And and run out of time.
We'll have to do a series.
This has been
Yes,
great.
this has been eye-opening. I'm gobsmacked. That's just the only word I can think of. David, thank you so much for giving us a small taste of the big taste to come.
It's my greatest joy is sharing this.
Yeah.
Having
Yeah.
something beautiful to give, it's like, woohoo.
Yeah. Yes.
So
I'm excited.
Just
Yeah.
on a final note, so when people come, do you invite them to your office, or is this your playroom? Or how do you describe this?
Yes.
I call this my hobbit hole.
There you go.
It's
Willy
where
Wonka.
I am so happy here. This place is so perfect for me because all of my 3D printers and all the things I need to do, all of fabrication and building, but also all the things that I've made my whole life are in here. So when I invite people over to show them this, and anyone can come see it, anyone. I don't do this to make money off of it.
Right.
I show people to kind of fine tune the pitch and make sure everything's good, but it's just such a blast doing it. It's like getting everybody in and just cracking their coconuts and going, you're about to see Secrets of the Universe. And they're like, oh yeah, sure. And then eventually you get it, and they're like, and it doesn't matter who they are, young or old, rich or poor, they all get it. You're not showing magic, you're just explaining how merry-go-rounds work.
Right.
But either way, it's one of those things that inviting people here is because this is where, I guess you'd call this, my life is all focused. Everything I ever created and everything I'm going to create is out of this little space, and I just am happy.
Well, it's very special that this is our first out of the box too of being here. David, thank you so much.
This has been
amazing.
an absolute joy, and I can't wait till the end of February to find out all the secrets of the universe. And I hope you guys are excited too. David, thank you. Jeffrey, thank you for telling me about David and bringing us here on this very rainy and crappy day in Southern California. It
can't
was
tell.
well worth it. That's right. I know.
It's a sunny, beautiful day here in Southern
That's
California.
it. Yeah, come move here. That's all you need. Anyway, that is it for us. I'm Rona Lewis,
I'm Jeffrey Hansler.
and this has been Biz-Souls. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Biz-Souls podcast with your hosts, Rona Lewis and Jeffrey Hansler. Did you have fun? Subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It's very much appreciated. Talk to you next week.